Straight ahead on 12 News, jumping to safety.
And there was a guy looking out the window, and I was like, you need to get out right now, you need to get out.
The fire that became a close call for some third-floor residents. Then, an incorrect background check cost a Brooklyn Park man his job, how his story sheds light on new legislation. But first,
Anoka-Hennepin teachers have a tentative contract deal. Why both sides say it's a win-win for both teachers and students.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. After months of negotiating, Anoka-Hennepin teachers have reached a tentative contract deal.
The agreement was made after 7 hours of talks Monday night. 12 News reporter Sonia Goins has details of the deal.
We hammered out the final parts of an agreement.
The Anoka-Hennepin Teachers Union and the school district have been in a contract stalemate for nearly a year.
After years of freezes, this contract does help us turn a corner.
Now both sides say they are breathing a sigh of relief.
Well, we're very pleased that we reached a tentative agreement and we do not have to worry about a teacher strike.
I think we're seeing a lot of relief.
The two sticking points were teachers' pay and health insurance benefits. The school district compromised on salary.
In the first year of the contract, every teacher gets a $1,000 stipend, and our most experienced teachers get an additional 1.5%. In the second year, our newer teachers get 1.5%, and senior teachers get 2%.
Before we go on,
The district also wanted to add another level to teachers' pay schedules.
We ended up compromising by dropping our proposal for the additional step.
And the teachers' union agreed to allow a cap on health insurance.
The board was very firm about the cap on insurance.
We were able to get some assurances on health insurance that will help us make a new plan work for our members.
The tentative deal also includes a lot of other things, including benefits for new parents.
We extended parental leave to our mothers as well as fathers. We were able to find a solution to a substitute shortage that we have.
Both sides say overall, it's the students who will benefit from the tentative agreement.
Definitely a win-win for students because no one wants to be out of school for a teacher strike.
There's definitely a lot of relief that we're able to wrap this up and get back to focusing on what we care about most, and that's educating our students.
Members of the teachers union will meet in a few weeks and they will vote on whether to approve the tentative deal. If it gets a thumbs up, it will then go on to the school board for final ratification. At the district office, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The Anoka-Hennepin district is the largest school district in the state with 39,000 students. A fire at a Brooklyn Park apartment complex sent 4 people to the hospital early this morning.
3 of the injured jumped out of third-floor windows to escape the smoke and flames. And Cassie Bonstrom joins us now with more details.
Mike and Alex, the scene is quite calm right now, but it was anything but early this morning when firefighters arrived. It was quite a chaotic scene and they had to break the glass door to get to the residents that were trapped inside.
The 3rd floor of this apartment building is now off limits as crews investigate an overnight fire that injured 4 and caused extensive damage.
The first crews that arrived immediately were grabbing ladders, getting people that were hanging from the window. There had been a couple people who had already jumped.
It was really scary.
Carissa and Tabitha, 2 roommates on the 1st floor, heard the fire alarms go off around 1:30 a.m.
And as soon as she walked up to those stairs, the whole entire door just burst out in flames.
The women got outside just in time to see a man, woman, and dog jump from a 3rd floor window.
Their door was right where the fire was. Like, they were on the 3rd floor right where the fire was. So they honestly had no choice.
The 3 people who jumped, plus a 4th person injured by glass, were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Investigators believe the fire started on a couch left in the hallway.
We are calling it suspicious. Yep. Couches just don't catch fire.
The flames spread to the rest of the hallway before firefighters could get in and knock it down.
Could have been a lot worse. Yeah, had we not got there when we did, that could have actually gotten into the roof structure and been a much larger fire than that actually was.
Now investigators are looking into who owned that couch and why it was left into the hallway. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Brooklyn Park Fire Department at 763-493-8020. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Maple Grove police are alerting residents about a level 3 sex offender moving into their neighborhood. Paul Knutson has a history of criminal sexual contact with women. According to police, he has moved into the 8900 block of Weston Lane North, and you can learn more about the offender at a community notification meeting Thursday night at 7 at Maple Grove Senior High School. A Brooklyn Park man's lawsuit is shedding light on criminal records. He lost his job because of an incorrect background check.
Now, new legislation at the Capitol could help prevent cases like his.
Mr. Martin wanted to be in banking. He wanted to be in mortgage work, and now he's doing something entirely different.
Attorney Daniel Leland is speaking about his client, 41-year-old Malin Martin of Brooklyn Park. Martin was fired by Wells Fargo in 2011 after a background check found Martin spent time in jail for the misdemeanor offense of impersonating a cop in 1997.
The fact of the matter is, that record was wrong. He didn't spend 1 year in jail.
Leland says his client did plead guilty to the charge and completed probation, but Martin was never sentenced to jail time. Now, Leland and his client are involved in a lawsuit against the background check company for the erroneous report that cost Mr. Martin his livelihood.
He was out of work for about 6 months. He lost all of his benefits, and he functionally had to get a job in an entirely different career.
At the Capitol, lawmakers are working on legislation that would allow courts to erase misdemeanors and low-level felonies from court and state records after several years.
We need to have the court have the ability to look at each individual circumstance and decide whether it's in the person's best interest and the public's best interest to have that record not exist anymore.
Representative Deborah Hillstrom, chair of the House Judiciary Committee, says the legislation has bipartisan support and she believes it will pass and help people who may have had a run-in with the judicial system.
If you win, you're not convicted or you are not evicted, those records shouldn't haunt people forever.
In the case of the Brooklyn Park man, Malin Martin, he found a job working maintenance, but it's not the banking career he once had, and his lawyer says that sheds light on the importance of this issue.
I think, what's going on at the Capitol, what's going on in Mr. Martin's case, draws attention to the fact that these criminal records can put a permanent black mark on someone's career.
After losing his job, Mr. Martin did successfully get a judge to erase his misdemeanor record. However, under current law, those criminal records could still exist elsewhere.
A significant expansion is planned at a Maple Grove church. Redeemer Lutheran Church is seeking city approval for an addition that would include a new worship area. It would more than double the size of the church. The addition would also include new classroom space for the church's preschool program. Plans now await City Council approval. Meanwhile, Maple Grove is taking a look at plans for a new medical office building. Ryan Companies is proposing to build a 2-story office building called Grove Health West, just north of the Aldi grocery store. The new building is expected to accommodate between 80 and 100 full-time employees. Coming up, a health problem that won't make you smile.
Why dental issues are often overlooked and how a new Robbinsdale clinic aims to help. Then later in sports, how an experienced Champlin Park softball team is looking for good things this spring.
But first, no April Fool's joke here. Snow is actually in the forecast for Thursday and Friday.
New job figures released today may provide a glimmer of hope for job seekers.
Minnesota employers report more than 60,000 job openings, and more than half of those were in the Twin Cities metro. According to the report, 20% of the vacancies were in healthcare, and that's the most of any field. More than half of the vacancies also required 1 or more years of work experience, and more than half of the job vacancies offered health insurance.
The new age of fundraising has helped an upstart Robbinsdale business. Golden Age Design restores furniture from the 1950s and 60s. It bought space in downtown Robbinsdale to expand, but it needed money to make that happen. Enter in Kickstarter. The online campaign gave Bill Kurth and his wife Cara 30 days to raise $17,000. It turns out they raised $19,000. The money will be used to remodel the building's interior. For families with little or no insurance, a trip to the dentist is generally an afterthought.
Today in our Health Check report, Delane Cleveland shows us a new clinic aimed at providing dental care for those who need it most.
As of now, our clinic, we have currently 4 rooms.
In the shadows of North Memorial Hospital,
Minneapolis is a big city, and there's a lot of people that needs dental work, so
sits Robbinsdale's newest dental clinic.
the surrounding areas themselves do have a need for the underserved and the people that, haven't seen a dentist in a long time.
Community Dental Care is a nonprofit that caters to people who either don't have insurance or who are on state insurance plans.
The thing is, there are not many dentists that accept state insurance patients.
Dr. Sunkit says since the clinic opened January 13th, there's been no shortage of work.
I was thinking that at least for the first 6 months it'll be pretty slow, but it's picking up pretty fast.
He says they serve about 20 to 30 patients a day.
They're really grateful that we started here.
Many of whom never go to the dentist and come here as a last resort.
They have so many issues going on that they cannot sleep, they cannot eat properly, they have swellings.
And after only being open for 2.5 months,
this is actually the upstairs, the future of the clinic.
Clinical manager Va Tao is already talking expansion.
This will be our waiting room, according to the plan, and this will be the receptionist area.
Plans for Phase 2 call for 9 rooms on the second floor, which would help serve nearly 22,000 more patients annually.
The goal is 2016. By that time, hopefully this whole place will be up and running, so that we can definitely serve more patients.
In Robbinsdale, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The clinic receives most of its funding through grants and donations. The upstairs addition will cost about $1 million. And for more information on how to donate, if you'd like, you can visit our website. That's 12.tv. Coming up, a place in Maple Grove that's hustling and bustling on April Fool's Day.
But first in sports, after a big step forward last spring, the Park Center baseball team looks to be a contender. John Jacobson is in next.
Well, John Jacobson with sports now, and a lot of outdoor sports already being pushed back. Softball's being pushed back, yet the practices continue.
Very similar to last spring when we had the snow late into the season, and so you just practice inside until you can get out. The Champlin Park softball team has had a senior-heavy roster this year. The Rebels will try to build on last year's strong finish. Jason Malillo reports.
7 of 9 starters come back this season for Champlin Park, and it's a group that knows how to play together.
We're very athletic, and we have a lot of promise, so it's just kind of a matter of where these girls want to take it.
We've been playing with each other since forever, and so I think we really understand each other. We know how each other play, and so I think we're going to be really good this season.
The Rebels finished the 2013 regular season with a losing record, but found their mojo in the section tournament, winning 3 games despite being the 9th seed.
I think we all became friends. I think that was the biggest thing. We figured out what each other were good at, figured out what each other's weaknesses were, and just improved from there and just pushed each other.
Being seeded 9th in the section last year, I was kind of shocked at, even despite the record that we came in with, because we had played some of those teams and we were seeded behind teams that we had beat in the regular season. So hopefully now these kids are going to take some respect or get some respect from the coaches and the communities around us.
For the Rebels to improve this spring, they'll have to be more consistent with the bats. Their offense last year was feast or famine, leading to a lot of close losses.
And it wasn't a thing where we lost late in games. It was just that one run and we just couldn't scratch another run across kind of thing. So yeah, we definitely want to make that jump to be able to score that late run that puts us in the win column.
CP will also be challenged with a tough non-conference schedule in addition to the grind of its Northwest Suburban Conference games. Coach Brian Woodley hopes that will better prepare his team for the postseason. Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
The Rebels' home opener is scheduled for a week from Thursday against Andover. There is a new coach and plenty of optimism in the Park Center baseball program this spring. Here's Jay Wilcox with a look at the Pirates.
They're trending up. Park Center's baseball team was last in the Northwest Suburban Conference in 2011 and 2012, winning 1 and 3 games respectively. They jumped up to a tie for 4th last season with a 5-5 league mark in the shortened season, and with a veteran squad that took some lumps early in their careers, the Pirates are ready to contend this spring.
Last year was one of our first good years in a while. We were full 500. It was definitely a confidence booster. We're definitely looking to have a better season this year, though.
I mean, coming up as sophomores on varsity, or some guys were freshmen, yeah, that was pretty tough for us to adjust to the varsity level, but now that we're seniors, it just makes us all the better.
Brian Haransky, the Pirates B squad coach last season and a former head coach at Fridley, takes over the Pirates varsity this spring. It's been a good transition.
I enjoy coming out here, when we can actually practice, because there is a lot of behind the scenes, meetings and
planning that goes into the season, and it's really a 12-month season, you know, with all the meetings and all the other things that you have to kind of do for the program, like youth clinics and things like that. So it's kind of a full spectrum. But I really enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be out here doing it.
With solid veterans like Austin Ledeen, Jeremy Tutt, Tyler Stroh, Brandon Budnick, and Carson Celine, the Pirates have a lineup without a lot of holes and one that should produce.
I think offensively we're pretty good. We got from top to bottom, our lineup is solid. A couple guys were all conference last year, and so we got a pretty good lineup.
The state champions for 2014.
It's a different sport and different gender, but Park Center's State Girls Basketball Championship is inspiring the spring teams too.
Oh, for sure. It gives everybody a confidence booster just knowing that they can do that with the team that they had. They're a great team, and I think we can maybe be next.
Once the snow departs, look for good things for Park Center baseball. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
The Pirates are supposed to have a game this Friday against defending state Class 3A champion Mounds View, but that has been postponed. They're slated to open the season April 9th at Osseo. Even though that's still over a week away, that's looking kind of iffy.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Just have to wait and see.
Right.
Thanks a lot, John. If it was real, you wouldn't dare eat it.
Up next, the magical treats that are attracting a big crowd.
For a store in Maple Grove, having some innocent fun on April Fool's Day is a piece of cake.
Once again, Nadia's Cupcakes rolled out treats with an April Fool's twist, with flavors like spaghetti and meatballs, peas and carrots, and bacon and eggs. Well, then there's the one that Nadia Cakes is famous for, unicorn poop. Yep, it's a rainbow cake with a magical surprise on top.
Unicorn poop is so magical. It's so cute and pretty, and it's fun, and it's just a really cute kind of prank that you can play on people that's not mean and nasty. Anytime you've got rainbows, we always say our customers love rainbows. Anytime we have rainbows in the case, they just come in and get them.
The shop was a little hectic today as the line stretched out the door. They even had to make an emergency batch to fill all the orders. Abby Jimenez says they sold about 1,000 unicorn poop cupcakes, and they cost about $5 each. It's a busy day over there, isn't
I
it?
just never know what to say. You know, what do you say? April Fools.
Yeah, that's right. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.